Damwon Gaming fans certainly in full voice today in both games now, with a little bit more desperation. They're staring down the barrel of a potential 2-0 for Sandbox Gaming on a tear. So far, SKT, the only team able to take even a game win off them.
And it's Investment Banker coming through from the Cannon. It's a range matchup, so range versus melee, you understand it. I had a chance to play around with this Klepto Cannon. It's really frustrating to play against as a melee champion because you start Lightning Rush, you roll up, and because it's 2 procs now of the Klepto, you have that attack speed to get instantly a nice item lead. He already has 4 items. This guy is close to 6 item territory very early. Got a baby health potion here. As we're going to get to look over the keystone choice here, it's very much laning focus. Going to be Ravenous Hunter and Taste the Blood for any trades to be dissuaded. You can take a bad trade and then heal up with this combination of runes in the domination tree. Again, still no confirmation ultimately on whether it will be AP or AD. I feel like there is a lot of flexibility here. Again, like you say, I think AP is the way you go, but you would understand AD because traditionally, when Damwon Gaming have last picked for Noguri, it's been all about Noguri comps. It's been very much about 4-1 and his ability to take over side lane. His bot lane, there's a flash already.
Yeah, already is. Knockup's going to come in here. Stun goes down onto Joker down to 200 health, but otherwise he's going to survive as Ghost walks out with his whole health bar and able to offer back a death ray.
Shows you why they first rounded the Braum Lucian, obviously very powerful at level 1, and they trade flashes here. Support for the awesome dude. You definitely take that trade, but it does mean a gank could come off from OnFleek.
Yeah, OnFleek looking for that safeguard. Try and get himself through. Ward is there, doesn't actually step over vision based on where the pings are. It out now, see exactly what Damwon I believe was able to skip past that ward just barely.
So let's talk about what I believe teams have found out with Damwon Gaming, and one of the reasons why a 2-0 start has turned into a 2-2, and now, you know, staring down the barrel of a 2-3 or 3 losses in a row for Damwon Gaming. One thing we can say is that when it comes to bot lane, they were basically Xayah Rakan only. So many of their victories on Xayah Rakan, and Xayah Rakan obviously started being banned by halfway through week 1 of LCK Spring, and then now the big nerf to Rakan means Xayah Rakan power level is down. They could just kind of draft Xayah Rakan and be fine in the bot lane. Now they've been forced to play around bot lane or try some more riskier lanes. Things falling away. Canyon.
Yeah, Q's going to get followed here as OnFleek lands all of his buttons, looking for the autos, dodging out of the way of the Q so nicely. Can't hit anything as the Infernal Chains aren't going to arm either, as now Dove looking for Showmaker. There's the safeguard, and OnFleek can now just try and pick his target. Noguri has to make his way down from the top side of the map.
Trying to dissuade OnFleek for as long as possible. The other big thing that has been noted about Damwon Gaming is how they really stack the deck around Canyon. His mid lane.
Yep, right in the right position. Q lands, of course, and Dove picks up first blood.
Lane positioning there from Showmaker is a pretty big fail. He knew that the enemy was around blue buff and still pushes up, still greeds to push in and get the full reset in mid lane. Easy for OnFleek to wrap around, and probably too easy of a first blood to Sandbox Gaming.
Yep, looking to try and get this shove out as well here in the mid lane as Dove just happy to trade his health bar because he's about to go home. Claw comes out.
Going for a trade.
Yeah, does get it as the auto attack not quite enough to take him down. Not wanting to return to that E is Dove, as doesn't have to invest the flash and will now just go back home.
Pathing adaptations from Sandbox are always so impressive to watch. Everywhere OnFleek goes, he has the Midas touch. It turns to gold as Joker's interrupted.
Yeah, he's going to get stunned up there by the concussive blows, but otherwise is relatively tanky and is going to keep himself alive with the Aftershock proc.
Especially in the early game, Aftershock will always do more defensive stats than you get from the press the attackers. Here's the Reaper. Showmaker's just so far up the lane. Thinks he's going to be safe, but isn't. Able to be taken down through the bone plating, and now Canyon looking for a turret dive. How about 4 members?
Yep, they got 4 people under here. That's a fantastic taunt to come out from Joker, though, as Hoyt should actually go down. No, he isn't! As Nuclear having to tank this one up. Dove makes his way down. It's a double underneath the turret as Showmaker just pulls himself all the way back into this game.
It gets a huge cheer from the crowd because everyone knows how hard that is to do after all the turret damage buffs over the course of the offseason there. The last shot doesn't go down. The heal actually does save the support there from Nuclear, and then the Frozen Thrall does the rest on the second kill. Nicely done by the side of Damwon Gaming, and they needed that. They needed a good start, and the trade of summoners here. We thought it was just going to be a 1-for-1 to begin, but it ends up being a 2-for-0.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic stuff here as Showmaker Looks for it, gets it with the frozen thrall like you talk about, and after you've got that one pick off, the Lysandra is now so much better at getting more. Level 5 for Summit as level 6 is hit by Noguri on the top side, and 48 to 30 is that CS margin. This has always been an absolute nightmare of a matchup for the Renekton, and Noguri is showing us that it still is.
Damwon Gaming need to show different ways to win games, and we'll have to once again stop talking about Damwon Gaming because right now it's Noguri versus the world.
Yep, as Dove looking to try and stop him from pressing further forward as there's the slicing Maelstrom. Good double stun to come in there as Dove throws out the ultimate. They still want to find more, and they do. Flash is not going to be enough to get him out, though, and Noguri's going to trade.
Timing there wasn't off there on the Akali. Ends up being a 1-for-1, and 1-for-1 plus Inferno would actually be another trade-up for Damwon Gaming. Sandbox going into a lot of assertive plays, some being pulled off, some not. And the Inferno here with how much damage on the side of Damwon Gaming. 4 carries and a Braum. Going to be a big pickup for them.
Yeah, 7 minutes moving into a 2,000 gold lead, and an Infernal Drake is looking like 3 games for this series. Sandbox have been doing great trying to get back into mid-games before, though, and now let's have a look at this one again, just biting off too much against the cannon.
Q misses from OnFlake, and they would have had to take a less of a turret shot. It does end up being very important there. Kali tries to get back into Shroud and get, of course, the troll factor doesn't come off. Showmaker's chasing.
Yeah, doesn't have flash though, so OnFlake able to create enough distance. I believe did steal away the red buff that Noguri was trying to pick up for himself, and now going to go back home.
Remember the point I was bringing up about level 6s, by the way. 7 minutes 20. Level 5 right now is OnFlake and Canyon.
Yeah, okay, so we'll see where that tick over does happen.
It's just gonna
very close.
I would love someone to do the math. I might actually try to reach out to Riot on keeping stats from 9.1 to 9.2.
Yeah.
In terms of average level 6 being hit after the experienced nerfs coming in around level 3 onwards when it comes to those nerfs.
Showmaker's got a lot of turret plates here.
There's a level
Canyon,
6.
Yeah, he's going to face check, but like you say, level 6 for him. No kick available for OnFleek just yet, but you can see Canyon still taking so much damage. Death Ray over the wall helping for that one.
Noguri continues to farm it out topside. Been a very action-packed first 8 minutes, 5 kills, and could have been many more. Confirmation finally. Atlas is 2. Slow you down there. Confirmation finally will be AP Cannon as the starting of the inner workings of an AP build.
Yep, dash cannon to be completed for item number 1. Understandable stuff here for the cannon. Make sure he's got as much burst damage and mobility as he can possibly get. OnFleek down towards the bottom side of the map, but spotted on this control ward that he immediately gets rid of.
Mid-game fighting here from Damwon is so powerful on 2 items. Basically, the way this works is that the Slicing Maelstrom goes down, Canyon pops his ultimate and starts, I guess, skating around with his Q. Lysandra also has huge zone control, Braum as well, and that means that Lucian can, with 2 items, we all know Black Cleaver and they play the Ruin King, just min-max every dash for damage because he has so much AoE peel coming through from the rest of his lineup here. So it's all about 2-item Lucian, his strongest point, being able to use every single bit of his kit, every animation cancel for damage, and just bulldoze Sandbox Gaming around those timings.
Now you got Showmaker having to use the rest of his health pool here to try and get this wave pushed out. Wanted to go back a little bit earlier, but Dove did slow him down. Might be a tempo lead for Sandbox potentially. But so far, Showmaker's having a great time. After those 2 kills underneath the turret, really made up for the fact that First Blood was against him. Noguri also, the solo lanes for Damwon Gaming in a great spot. 88 to 66.
But what teams have realized is start the bans on, when you're on blue side and Damwon crucially is on red side, start the top lane counter pick bans early so that you actually take away Vlad, Jace, more picks away from the last pick here. Because Noguri last picking a champion that either forces the enemy to not be able to fight him 1v1 in lane or just AoE wombos in team fights is how Damwon have won on the red side. Starting those bans early have forced Noguri to go on to more tertiary carries like the Cannon. Cannon can't solo kill Renekton in the mid to late game in lane and carry a team fight. Either you go AD build and try to dunk the Renekton, or you go AP build and it's cleaner for the Renekton to answer you. So because of that, Noguri hasn't been able as reliably to be the red side win condition. That's the nice adaptation in the last 3 sets when teams are facing Damwon.
Well, we're having a look at this one yet again. We know Showmaker does like to get these sort of roams on as the turret plate's still available. Want to pick up another one. Nuclear and Hoyt going to have a great time there as, nothing they can do, no vision of Showmaker, and now, finally, on a ward.
5th play of the game means it's not just the kill lead, it's the massive amount of turret plates from Damwon Gaming, and they have lost none. Kennen versus Renekton, that was the last pick, gives you a winning lane for Kennen. We knew about that one. The mid lane plays and the mistakes we saw have not been punished when it comes to turret plates. They already have 2 down on the Akali, so right now actually being punished in multiple lanes here from some good plays and that turret dive paying off in dividends in the bot side.
Yeah, it's winning on kills, on farm, and on turret plates so far that has led to this 3,000 gold lead at 11 minutes into the game. Certainly not a small lead whatsoever for Damwon Gaming.
Games like this where the Renekton doesn't feel like the dominating pick it is over in the LPL.
No.
There's so many picks that answer it in lane because it's such a fiercely melee champion. Nogari continues to bank, and all Summit can do is wait for a better move.
Yep. And Nogari now just wanting to go back, finish off that dash cannon, and get the Slicing Maelstrom into one of these early skirmishes as Canyon's going to move on forward. Dove has to use the Shroud, but gets out of the way of the Infernal Chains and just takes a whole bunch of damage.
Crowd enjoyed the second thwack of the Q there. World Ender.
A hell of a lot of damage. Dove underneath the turret should at least be okay. Not going to lose another turret plate. Here in the mid lane might be an opportunity though, as he is having to go back home. Gunblade relatively close, but feeling way too far away. Here for Sandbox is on fleek, gonna move on out, gets the kick back. Dove already over here, Slicing Maelstrom though should be able to get a decent stun as the ultimate comes down from Dove, looking to find a few more, has to flash to get himself over here, but he's on the wrong side, and that auto attack not quite enough to take down the Akali.
So the Corrupting Potion was running, would have been single-digit bot side.
Yeah, now Joker in trouble as Nuclear's looking for it. Ghost turns up with the Chaos Storm. Thankfully, there was a stopwatch to keep the Gargoyle alive.
Nuclear used double Summoner, I assume chasing for a kill. Not able to pick it up and doesn't get the kill. Pretty assertive back timing, actually.
Yeah, that was a little too close for comfort, especially in a game like this.
Point was on the roam as that play happened. Another turret plate is cashed in. We're getting close to all the turret plates going down pre-14. Won't happen. This top lane won't be fully cashed in the next minute. They continue to bulldoze here, and all OnFleek can do is watch on in horror.
Yeah, exactly. There's a minion wave coming here as well, and we're looking at Damwon getting rid of the mid lane outer turret before the turret plates have even gone down, which is just a ridiculous timing. First turret blood going over, and that global gold continues to stack. Close to 6,000 now as the Renekton has to go home. And they're looking to get even more. Still, remember, another 40 seconds for these turret plates, and that's a full minion wave. They should be able to get this down to at least 1 or 2.
This is so much gold in the early game for the comp. We just told you guys, really loves 2 items. Going to come early. And watch the replay here to understand it. This is a pure 1v2 where Nuclear has to use both summoners, but like you say, almost takes one down for the count on the backside. So look at this. 10 plates. Plus 3 in the bot is 13 turret plates. That is an insane amount of gold. 13 times 160. Split across multiple members is a huge wad of cash. These wallets couldn't be a lot thicker. It's 6,000 gold
in a
1 kill advantage.
Just insane. Just insane. 2 turrets now being taken down. And what the heck does Summit actually do this game? You know, like, he's got a Tiamat, he's got a Kindle Gem, but that's it. As Nuclear looking for on fleek, and this is not the Lee Sin we saw in the last game. Just going to take down the lead. Joker is going to be an afterthought, but still definitely dead. And now the Lucian is on fire.
And now we need to zoom out and say, what did Damwon get in terms of their comp that's working? The preferential lane assignments with the Kennen last pick, but more importantly, OnFleek's on a level 6 jungler. The jungle's in a different spot. Things are slower. And they traded up in some of the skirmishes earlier. That dive worked. Now we've watched Lucian be a passenger rather than OnFleek just take over the early game like he's done so reliably in LCK Spring. Such a different game now. And Sandbox around their superstar jungler kind of falling apart.
Yeah, it just feels like if OnFleek can't get something done in the early game, what we're looking at from Sandbox is a completely different squad and not one that's able to be as dominant and take as many risks as we move into the mid-game.
And what about if it is confirmed that only tank junglers can work and maybe things go even lower and lower in terms of jungle threat? Then can Sandbox Gaming find another way to get the leads in the early game that they've been wielding so well? This team has been one of the best at getting turret plates and getting gold leads. They are in a massive gold hole. It'd be a much different story if they could come back and win this game as Everything looks more anemic when you're 6,000 gold behind.
Yep, able to get all of the rotations over. This is a pretty powerful play coming through from Damwon, and they are playing with this lead so well. And you wouldn't know it that we had a massive blowout victory from Sandbox in game number 1, where they just looked like they were straight up the better team. The opposite case this time around as Canyon's going to pay a visit to the bottom side, their last remaining outer turret, and they've just got to demolish proc and see you later tower.
The rich get richer. Damwon Gaming in this one. It feels like Sandbox Gaming are a mom and pop store, and the big chain came in, and now there's just no way to fight back. They've got lower prices. Their stuff, people are saying it tastes better. You can definitely see that. Look at the item advantages here. It's huge item leads everywhere. It's one completed item in most roles. There's just nothing for Sandbox to talk about, and already the Rift Herald's going to force them to move. Baron will spawn, and then they'll have to move. They want a 20-minute no-rush situation, and Damwon Gaming want Game 3 to start as early as possible.
Absolutely. 2 items done for both solo lanes, and Summit hasn't even got 1 completed item done yet. It's just a Tiamat as far as anything that's helping him. A tiny sword, a little red rock, and a bigger red rock, and that's about it for the Crocodile. And sometimes you rock out with your croc out, but it's just the wrong decision to make.
He's just wearing Crocs, and
yeah,
I'm not a big fan of that as a fashion choice.
He's going out with his Crocs on, unfortunately.
Oh, no. To a nice restaurant,
yeah, you're supposed to rock out with your croc out, but you're not supposed to go out with your Crocs on. That's a mistake we've made here.
I'm surprised the admittance policy allowed him in, but he made it to the fancy black tie affair, but you can definitely see he's sticking out. It feels like Renekton is just not going to have a role in this game at all. Damwon going to take down a Cloud Drake, and yeah, again, the epitome of the rich get richer in this game.
It is. It is. I feel like Summoner's Rift is now being confirmed to not have a dress code. I think that's the only way that you can ever have your Crocs on from your reference earlier, but at least now he's moving towards a Black Cleaver. We'll have that in 950 gold's time. So at least now we have an understanding of which item he's trying to complete first.
Will he ever be able to stack 5 Black Cleaver stacks on the enemy? Because I feel like he would just pop and die before.
Yeah, I mean, we're staring down a 10,000 gold lead at the moment. It is 8,000 for Damwon Gaming, continuing just to make it worse and worse for Sandbox.
It's also
3
a top
Drakes
laner
picked up.
that only works from ahead. And he's
yes,
the furthest away from ahead this game.
Yeah, it's feeling like Damwon getting their revenge against a team that they had the number of throughout the entirety of Challenger.
Red side drafting against Damwon. With Damwon on the red side is tricky. Again, the cannon surprises them in this particular game, but it just really is the icing on the cake, and had some nice early moments, but the moment there was the answering kills, the turret dive bot lane, if that goes wrong and 3 people die, maybe this game never happens, and we're waiting for Black Cleaver, and we say, all right, now or never, you might get outscaled. We talked about how it's AoE wombo with Lucian. Lucian needs to do it now. Now the AoE wombo and Lucian are so early that it probably doesn't matter if you make some mistakes. Noguri, in his classic overextended position.
Yeah, but looks really good doing it this time around. Q gonna land from on fleek, though, as he does get the kickback. Can he follow with the resonating strike? The answer might be no, as Damwon able to get this rotation over. Hero's entrance to come down onto on fleek, but I don't know whether they can save his life. The safeguard's there. That's going to be enough as they trade 1 for 1, but now Summit finds himself on the wrong side of Summoner's Rift with not enough slices and not enough dices to get him out of this one. 2 kills go down one after the other. A double for the Aatrox.
They get the kills eventually. They do take down Kennen, but Noguri just doesn't want to flash. I guess he wants that for a flank engage in the future. They back away with the 3 kills. The moment they get some control wards in Baron, it's going to spawn in 30 seconds. Too early to pick up that objective, but everywhere they go, Sandbox should just be giving them up everything.
Yep, not entirely sure what Ghost was doing right here, but he's definitely dead. Nuclear's going to be easily able to pick that one up. It's not like he was greeting for a turret plate or a kill on a turret, because that turret was 100% health.
I think he's greeting for a minion wave. He hasn't had too many of them this game, but just a mistake from Ghost. Things from behind. Ghost from behind. A feeling that he felt so commonly on BBQ Oliver's with all the struggles of the team. Definitely seeing things fall apart for Sandbox Gaming, and why I was always going to bite my tongue when talking about the potential candidacy of Sandbox Gaming to be topping the standings later in the season. Even the end of the first round robin is multiple best of 3s away. This one could just be a one and done in draft. The Renekton has been answered, and Damwon Gaming are comically far ahead. It's 11,000 gold odd at 20 minutes.
Yeah.
500 gold a minute is insane for a lead.
It's right now feeling certainly like a go next situation here for Sandbox. They're probably already thinking about the next game. It was, like you say, the masterstroke of Canyon picking up the Aatrox and then the Cannon heading towards the top side. But that cannot be that much of a surprise here for Sandbox, the kings of flexing champions all around the Rift.
Why Renekton is a blind pick in Korea against Noguri. This is the last guy you blind pick. It's Sword, maybe. But
Ring of Frost going to come down as Joker is just going to die as an afterthought. Shroud is in there for Dub to keep him alive, is now on fleek, going to try and make a play, but just going to kick Nuclear the wrong direction. And they even die to the culling as the flash comes out. Nuclear over the wall, easily able to grab that Dub with the items on cooldown. Going to have a bit of a problem here, just tries to get onto Nuclear, which was very, very cute as he made that one work. But when you're this far behind, just looks like a joke. 13,000 gold to lead now for Dumb One Game.
That's why I actually love your play-by-play, Atlas. That was literally machine guns against plastic spoons. And machine guns work against plastic spoons. Super effective, it turns out. They back away. The Baron is theirs. The minion wave is theirs. We don't do surrenders in pro play very reliably, but this is definitely the one you surrender.
It is.
Baron buff goes down, and the gold lead is going to get... I feel like the biggest offender here is going to be the stats now, because now your stats for Sandbox Gaming, this is the data point you want to exclude. Yeah. It almost feels like there was a funnel game and you want to exclude that. That is how much of an asterisk this game is.
But great for building up the stats of Damwon. As we see this one again, I mean, not entirely sure what Sandbox were going for, but right now it's all about throwing the kitchen sink at your opponent and seeing what you can do in a game number 3. As it's just solo plays coming in left, right, and center for Damwon, because if they smack them with their wallet, they're gonna die.
Yep, it's a heavy wallet. Let's look at the gold lead now. Ooh, 15,000.
One of the biggest gold leads at this time that we've seen so far in the LCK, is we're just going to make it even more. Dub diving back forward, but I just don't think this Akali actually does anything. Hero's entrance down from Joker to try and keep him alive, and does so, but on fleek is going to be the sacrificial lamb. Now Summit taking the most damage from this cannon.
Good news, Ghost got a minion wave.
Here we go. I feel like we're watching double lift in a losing game. Just in a side lane, split pushing. He's on the Victor, so he clears out minion waves very effectively.
The turret, not so much.
Yeah, it's a little bit more difficult as their turret's just erupting on the map for Damwon. We're
will he
moving
back
towards
or will he not, Atlas?
20,000 gold.
Oh, he's TP.
Oh, okay. To a ward in their fountain. It's not exactly what you want to be doing as Joker wins the war, going to come in, but that's not a war that you want to be fighting right now. Mr. Debonair Galio. Damwon with 5 members. It's going to be taken down the next one. In goes Noguri. Boom goes the dynamite. And see you later, Sandbox. That is the last nail in this coffin that started being built at about 4 minutes into this game.
They were lowered into the ground.